I've realized it's been far too long since I've done an Acura versus Lexus video on this channel, and even longer since I've driven an MDX. So in today's video, I'm gonna be comparing the 2026 fully loaded Acura MDX versus the 2026 fully loaded RX 350. I'm Dustin Mason from Performance Lexus in St. Catharines. Make sure you hit like and subscribe for more Lexus related content. And big shout out to Stacy and her team over at Performance Acura. If you do like the MDX, make sure you pop over there to buy one because they are an amazing team. Also, I want you to make sure you stay to the end of the video because there is something on the MDX that really impressed me. And the RX almost has no hope to get to that specific feature that I'm talking about. Let's get into the Acura. So the MDX, legendary, has the V6 still. And in 2026, that is a very rare commodity because most of the vehicles in this class have switched to hybrids, 4 cylinders, or turbo 4 cylinders, and Acura decided to stick with their classic, normally aspirated V6. So I'm excited to drive it because on paper, technically the RX turbo has more torque, a little bit less power, but there's something about a V6, so I'm kind of excited to drive that. Let's look at the front end. I do love that Acura has done this sort of sunken in grille. So instead of having like a chrome trim or anything like that, it's actually just a recessed hatch grille. And it's funny because recently I was looking at some GXs and like Toyota Land Cruiser customized front ends, and they have like this hatching on them. It's not quite the F Sport, it's more like a fence. It looks really good. The Acura symbol is huge, by the way. You get up close to it, it's like the size of my face. It's pretty close to the size of my face. My nose throws it off. But it's there, I'm sure it's a sensor. We have some different venting on the bottom here, some fake vents on the side, but that's where we have some sensors and some other decorations. Also, something I almost never talk about, and I probably should, is clearance. And clearance here seems really good. Very similar to the RX. The RX might actually have a little bit less front clearance, but let's be honest, not many people are taking these cars off-road. Let's talk about the headlights. I always really liked Acura's headlights. I remember back in like the TL days and TSX and ILX that seeing those stacked, bejeweled looking headlights to me were always so sharp. They have the daytime running light paired with it. You can see the signal light right underneath. It is interesting. It's not like a frosted one like the Lexus is. Instead, it has a little bit of like, I don't know, light direction. You know, it still gets the light to where it needs to go. Hood, very classic Acura, couple seams, one right down the middle, nothing really to write home there. If we compare it to the RX, I will say the RX front end has gone through some criticism over the years. With the 2023 and up redesign, we got this little nose piece. So what Lexus was trying to do at that time was they saw a trend in the market of vehicles that looked EV even when they weren't EV. And we know the average Lexus owner keeps their car for a decent amount of time and they're on the road for a few decades. So it started to look a little more EV. So because of that, we have that, you know, not spindle grille, but luxury grille kind of fade away into this nose piece. And it also continues along the sides. That was because of some electric cars started that first. Reminds me of like that first e-tron. Small Lexus emblem, it is heated because it's a sensor, front facing camera, of course, and then just a little bit of diffusion here at the bottom. We do have some cornering lights here as well as a fog light. And again, people are gonna tell me in the comments, oh, you said the Acura vents are fake. The Lexus one is too, unless you get the F Sport. My favorite though is the headlights. A really nice 3-dimensional headlight housing. Again, a nice signal. All of these luxury cars does a good job of this, I find. Frosted daytime running light, which I really like. I don't know why I like that so much, but I do. There's also an extra light down there below. And then our triple beam intelligent LED headlights. So at nighttime, I mean, you could tell 4 beams, 3 beams, plus that little guy down there. No dark country road has a chance at either one of these cars. Body lines, we have a bigger seam here that fades right into the nose, and actually a much bigger nose than the Acura, and then just sleek throughout. As I mentioned, 4-cylinder, turbo or hybrid. This one, we're gonna drive the hybrid, even though the turbo would probably be more comparable. I wanted fully loaded versus fully loaded. So power-wise, the turbo would be closer, but the hybrid is still, yeah, it'll be a little bit less power, but still very common in it. Let's talk a little bit about side styling. So this one is not the Sport, it's the A-Spec. So we got these black wheels. I was curious. It's a Bridgestone tire setup. It's a decent sized brake. It is what looks to be a single or double piston. It's not crazy. It's not a crazy brake setup. And the RX, some of them are. And it's a 20-inch wheel. We have A-Spec right there. This reminds me of like the Porsche Nardo gray. We got some black accents, no chrome, which I love. I kind of love when brands do that. It's all black. It's all piano black. Regular door handle, decent size door, and also pretty heavy. I love a good solid door. Let's listen. Yeah, super solid door, no tinniness at all. That's important to me when I look at cars. Yeah, very, very solid. Little quarter glass there. And also at the bottom here, there is like a little body filler. It's almost like a built-in body molding, which is kind of nice because the ones on Lexus are like an accessory that stick on. This kind of reminds me of that, but better. Textured plastic. I like the look of non-textured plastic, but I like the function of textured plastic. And then we're over to the rear hatch. Now, first thing I noticed versus the Lexus, I'm just gonna turn those headlights back on, is it is an exposed wiper. And that just shows you how rare it is that Lexus has the tucked away rear wiper. I will say, that's a good looking taillight though. That is a really, really good looking taillight. It's like a squiggle. I have always liked it. I wish that luxury companies would go back to, because even Lexus has stopped this a little bit, is when the taillight is on, you know, you see some on the hatch and you see some on that rear quarter, and then there's like a seam in the middle. And it used to be the first generation NX started with this, where they still filled it with light. There was still like a way they bend the light in there. Brands just haven't been doing that. I love the exposed exhaust. I know that in the future, you know, that's gonna make this thing stand out, but that's okay. It's a V6. It is funny. It's just one single exhaust, but the way they make the muffler look, it looks like it's two, but I think it still looks good. Both of these cars are gonna have decent sized storage, but the Acura is gonna win because it has a third row. So not many people buy these for the sole reason of the third row, but having the third row is a convenience because if you ever have an extra kid that needs a ride home from soccer practice, you can always fold those seats up. And when they're folded down, there is a lot of space back there because it is a little bit longer than the RX as well. We still got some storage here, still a little bit of storage. And then, yeah, rear space is good. It's not fully sectioned off because it's right, you know, there's some crevices and stuff. I just wanted to see, there is a full-size spare tire under there as well. So Acura, I knew it was gonna be bigger back here. Let's compare that to the Lexus. Okay, so we got a little bit more of that old school class, that old money look. 21-inch wheel, it is like almost a chrome. It's like a smoked chrome. And then we have some chrome all over the place. We have chrome along the mirrors, along the windows, on the mirror, a little bit of gray, silver up here. We have the electronic door latch, which I love because you just apply pressure and it just like pops the door open. And when you go to leave, it's even better. You just kind of like apply pressure with your thumb and just in one motion you leave. And I think that's one of the things Lexus just thinks of everything because they're the best. A little bit of door trim at the bottom there, that swooping sort of quarter glass. That again, just gives the silhouette a little bit of a sleekness. I also love the taillight on the RX. I'm gonna turn those on for us. I find all modern taillights, I don't know, let me know in the comments if there's a bad modern taillight on a luxury car right now, because I think they're all really good. This one starts at one end, goes to the other, underlines Lexus, and ladies and gentlemen, and everybody, we have a hidden wiper. The wiper comes down to swoop and stays, you know, nice and tucked out of the snow. We also have the modern, no exhaust look. I don't know, I go back and forth. Working at a car dealership, I'm always on the fence. I kind of like the Acura taillights exposed. I think the RX would look cool that way, but no big deal. It's not make it or break it. I'm not buying a pair of exhaust pipes, I'm buying a car. And then back here, a little bit different space. So because we don't have that third row, we actually have the spare tire mounted in here underneath this fake floor. We're on the Acura, it was underneath, you know, to each their own. The seat's full down flat, but we have no option of third row. And that's because this is a little bit smaller, a little bit easier to park. If you want a third row SUV, you go up to the TX. And that is like a proper third row where like I could fit back there and I'm 6'1". Or at least I tell people I'm 6'1". Also, this is the executive package. So we have 120 volt, 1500 watt plug back here. You could use some light power tools or, you know, if you're me, probably just a cooler at the beach or a pump for like, you know, your paddleboard or whatever. And power folding rear seats as well. But enough of that, I'm more excited to drive the Acura because I haven't driven an Acura in a very long time. So let's start with that one. Okay, so getting into the Acura, it is really nice. I would say the seats super comfortable. There's a lot of material there. It's a nicely laid out interior. The one that I'm in right now, the way it's spec'd out, it has a lot of black. So a lot of piano black and some silver accents. The materials feel good. I feel like I have a lot of places to put things, and I really like, there's like this hidden power bar. I don't know, I just like things that tuck away in dashes, and I really like that. Let's go for a drive. It's got a lot of nice safety features. It's got paddles, which I like. We're gonna put it in drive by pressing the D. I remember the first time that I was ever in a car that you used a button to put it in gear. It was a Lincoln. It was like an old Lincoln. And I remember my dad telling me like, yeah, you just press a button and that's how you put it in gear. And I thought that was like the most high-tech thing ever. And now in 2026, I'm like, I like a solid shifter because a lot of cars are shift by wire now. So that's something, I guess. All right, we're gonna get on the highway. So let's hear that V6. Oh yeah, super smooth. Wow, very, very smooth. Good driving position. This is one of those cars you can see the hood, and I know some people really like that. I don't mind either way. And I'm gonna tell you guys momentarily what makes this car. There's a feature on this car that the RX does not have, and I don't even know if Lexus will add it to the RX. I just saw a guy with a plate hanging off the front. That was kind of wild. Lots of good storage, by the way. There's a wireless charger here, a few different layers to the center armrest. But let's do the get up and go. Let's check this V6 out. Yeah. The V6, it's not that fast. It's not punchy. I hate to say it. The V6 is not that punchy. It is a nice V6, like it's smooth, but it doesn't have the power that I expected. And I didn't know that until I read about it ahead of time. I was expecting like IS 350, like psh, like grunty, and it just didn't do it for me. What does it for me is the feature I have been alluding to this whole time, and that is massaging seats. There's a physical button here. And actually, I didn't even have to push the button all the way. I just have to hover on top of it. And there's different massage types. How lovely. Right now it's giving me a massage and it's pretty good. And you can apparently press and hold the massage switch. I turn on the radar cruise control. Oh yeah. There's like upper back, lower back, rejuvenation. Oh, or Zen, entire seat wellness. Let's Zen out, you guys. It's been a long day. It's been a long day at work. That's nice. I like that. It's got lots of safety features. Safety support is what they call it. There's a G meter, there's the SH all-wheel drive, which is called super handling all-wheel drive. We're getting cut off by another Acura right now. That's gonna be a nice shot for the camera. I like that there's some shortcut buttons here, so I don't have to think too hard being new to this car. A little bit of wind noise from like this area here. But really smooth. I'm really impressed with how smooth it is. The thing is for the money, because on the pre-owned market, you can usually get a really good deal on these. It has everything that the fully loaded RX has, from what I can see right now. I might forget about something, I'm sure. If you're looking for a V6, this is one of the only options left too. I'm gonna punch it again, because I wanna see, and I'm gonna use the paddles. Just wanna control that V6 a little bit more. Yeah. It's a good engine. I also like, and this is gonna be so silly, I'm gonna get hate for this. I like the sounds that like cars make, like this one. It's like boop, 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 boop. It sounds like if Google was a noise, that would be it. It's pretty good. Speaking of sound, this one has the Bang & Olufsen. We can't test it because, you know, we would have to delete the video because YouTube won't allow that. Also has heads-up display, which is nice. It's got some body roll, like having that third row. And this was like when we had the RXL, was like sometimes people bought the RXL just because it was like heavier in the back, so it had a little bit more of that like soft, longer wheelbase type ride. And this one's got that too. It's got lots of body roll actually. And I still got my massage on. This is great. We need more cars. Bring back the massage chairs. We need more cars with massaging. I would add that to, if that was an option you could just add, I would add it to every car. It's not like, you know, it's not like replacing your massage therapist, but it's kind of nice. You know? Yeah, I don't like all the black. Like I'm more of a light interior guy now. So I like to see different things. It does have a volume knob down here. Actually, that's the only controls down here is just volume and then next and back, which is okay. This is a great family vehicle too, because that third row. Me and massage seats is like families having the third row option. Steering wheel control is very straightforward. There is a wheel on each side. I thought it was for volume. It's not, it's actually just how you get through all of the settings and stuff, which again, I like when cars have like some tactile to it because you don't have to think. Oh, the heated steering wheel controls on there too. I can already see on the dash. It has a lot of the same stuff that Lexus does in terms of like road sign assist, lane center assist, all those things. I think Acura does a good job on the MDX, especially for people that are like, I have some friends of mine who are like Honda guys. Like they grew up with Civics, then they moved to the Accord. And now that they're becoming more established in life, an Acura is a great option for them because it's like, it's got those that Honda heritage in it. It is a bit different than the RX, I will say. There are some standouts, but we're talking minimal. That's just me being a critic. It's so close. And actually, if I remember correctly, that center removes, and that was really cool. I remember doing that in my last MDX video. I don't think they got rid of that, so we'll have to check. And then to put it in reverse, you just hit a button. There's no little gear shift or anything. Not bad, Acura. Not bad at all. Okay, so I did check out, that center is removable. So you can fold it down and you can actually just remove it entirely. And that's pretty cool because if you are gonna use the third row in the MDX, you could get rid of the center seat if you don't need it, and then it's easier to get in and out of there. I will say, because of that third row, Acura has moved up the second row a little bit. And like my legs are right up against this front seat because it is back pretty far. It's in like the driver exit. So probably while driving that would be up further. And in the RX, it's nowhere close to hitting. So they're just allocating space in different areas. Heated seats back here, climate control back here, just like the RX. Okay, so now I'm kind of back home. This feels more familiar to me. It is also, we also picked, inadvertently, we picked an RX with a black interior, which is pretty rare these days. A lot of guests are ordering lighter interiors, like Palomino, etc. The thing about the RX is we have some different materials. We got some ultra suedes, we got some woods. There's less of the piano black. Actually, there's almost no piano black. I guess a little bit on the gauge cluster, but nothing else really. Even the seats have some suede in them and leg extensions, which is kind of nice. A little bit there to write home about. This one is the executive package, so we have things like Mark Levinson, we have the heads-up display, just like the MDX that we drove. This one has proactive drive assist, which I really like. All RXs have that standard. That's one of the things Lexus tries to do, is make it so safety features are not an option. You don't have to pay extra for those. And don't forget, this is the hybrid, so it drives a little different already. Oh, so smooth. The hybrid is so smooth. It's like you're floating and you're saving gas while you float. If you're a commuter, hybrids are the way to go. Even if you're not, a lot of people that drive a hybrid, it's hard for them to get into something like a V6 because just the way that the car feels, they're not used to it. I would say that a true transmission is my favorite. The hybrid has CVT. We don't have heated seats, or sorry, we don't have massage seats, but we do have cooled seats. So I got those going right now. We still have paddles, even though it's a CVT, an eCVT. And this one is the slowest of the RXs because it's the 350h. The 350 turbo has way more punch. It feels really, really good. There's a lot of torque, over 300 torque. It's like 315 or 318. I know one of my viewers is always like, you should be more specific when you're talking about stuff like horsepower. That's for you, Bal. He always calls me out for that. We have bird's eye view. We do have a button where this car will park itself, and that's always a cool thing. It is very smooth, very planted. A little bit less wind noise, I'm finding. This one has the heads-up display that you can see more in as well because of the way that these intelligent steering wheel controls go. You can see everything up on there. You can customize a few things. You can do that in the Acura as well. Ambient lighting is new to Lexus, I find. So like there is colors and there is some themes. Not quite like the Acura, like that was cool being able to see like Suzuka and Route 66 or whatever. There's more layers to this dash. The dashboard actually feels a bit bigger in the RX. There's layers to it with different materials, different lighting, but they're both so similar. That is the tricky thing. Center console here. Our wireless charger, different from the Acura, is actually tucked away. Cup holders you can actually like sink in. Armrests you can open from either side. We got a couple drive modes here, EV mode, a true shifter. It is still shift by wire. We have a true shifter there. Yeah, overall, slightly smoother, quieter ride. And less power though too. We do have drive modes in this as well. Now, you know, in something like the RX 500, it is bonkers. Like to go into sport mode, by the way, it's braking for me right now because our camera guy just slowed down and the car noticed I wasn't slowing down. So it's like, hey, Dustin, you should slow down. You can feel the shorter wheelbase, I find, especially in corners, like handling wise. And then if we punch it, like when you punch it in the city, it feels like you have a V6. And that's what RX 350h actually means. It's not a 3.5 liter, it's a 2.4 liter, but it has the power of a normally aspirated 3.5, which would be a V6. That's what the numbers mean now, is what would the displacement be if it was a normally aspirated engine? It's a little technical, nerdy, I know, but that's what it is. And you'll find on the internet, anybody that owns an RX loves it. Unless they've had it stolen, then maybe they're a little frustrated with, you know, how much other people want it. It's really just like getting on a highway in the hybrid RX is where it might feel a little underwhelming. In the city, the hybrid RX is great. Like red light to green light, you step on the gas, it goes. That electric motor gives you instant torque. On the highway, when you're already up speed, like the way the transmission works, it's less exciting, that's for sure. But it's still good, it's still smooth, it still gets you there. And if you get the RX 500 or the RX 350 gas, that is even a different driving experience. So the way that you could kind of spec this out to be interesting for you or like fit how you want to drive is pretty sweet. Also, you guys, let me settle this. Tell me in the comments, is it Acura or Acura? 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 I don't know how you're gonna spell that. That's like Porsche and Porsche. And I actually did own an Acura at one point. I had an Acura Integra. It was my winter beater because of, I had the Supra at the time, that was my only car. And I needed a safe, reliable winter vehicle. And it was so much fun. Tons of power, it was manual, it was tiny. It still had some luxuries, although I'm pretty sure it was fabric interior. Some of them had leather, mine was fabric. Yeah, I say smoothness and a little bit of materials on the inside goes to the Lexus. There is a lot of things that the Acura does though, very, very well. I actually really like the system that they have. I think that is a lot better. The multimedia system is a lot better than the last time I drove one of these, or one of those. This is the RX. Love the sounds, love the themes, love the animations, all that is really nice. I know you're not buying a screen, you're buying a car, but still, it's part of the luxury experience. All right, let's see the verdict, everybody. Which one is better? So there you have it, two very amazing luxury SUVs, both built by Japanese manufacturers. We have the Lexus RX and all the variants, and the Acura MDX with that original V6. And I think my verdict is this. The Acura comes in with that third row, even though it's almost like a jump seat. It's not like something you're gonna use every day. That is still really, really cool that they kept that. If you like a normally aspirated V6, this is like one of the last times you can get one is in the Acura. Bang for buck, you're still getting a lot of great styling, some new tech, some very comfortable seats. However, the Lexus, that shorter wheelbase adds a little bit of driving experience to it. I find the handling, it's also a little bit smoother, a little bit quieter, different materials inside that cabin, even though both of these were black cabins, and a little bit more refinement with the sacrifice of you don't get that extra space in the back, and you don't get things like a normally aspirated V6, but as you can compare on paper, you still get a decent amount of power from that new 4-cylinder. So this was me just to ask you viewers, what would you prefer? The Acura MDX or the Lexus RX and RX 350h? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Dustin Mason for Performance Lexus in St. Catharines. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and also go check out Performance Acura if you're in the market for an Acura. Performance Auto Group has many different brands across many different cities, and if there is a comparison that you want to see, also let me know in the comments below.